Hey there, broadcasting live from Moorish, Moors of Mexham. That's where I'm at. I don't know where you're at, but it's all good. Here with some love, truth, peace, wisdom, freedom, and justice. Giving shout out to and love and respect to Noble Drew Ali and all the ancestors out there that really helped us out by laying a strong foundation, really letting us know what it's about. So right now I wanted to speak about the Moorish Heritage and History School. Was established in 2006, CCY, to assist in the moving of information surrounding the Moors divine and national movement of the world. The Moors divine and national movement was established by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who raised the consciousness of the people regarding their already existing yet unknown nationality and birthright principles, and the impact it has on their economic security. This translates to the importance of one's natural person status, derived at birth, which entitles them to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It was necessary to bring this information to the forefront because it has been hidden through deceit and usurpation, particularly to those in the northern portion of the American continent. Drew came to the forefront with the establishment of the Old Canaanite Temple in 1913. Later, the Moors Holy Temple of Science, Moors Temple of Science 1925-1926, then the Moors Science Temple of America in 1928. The remedy was to uplift fallen humanity and bring the people back into the constitutional fold of government, as stated in Drew's writing, Divine Warning for the Nation. He informed many and formed unity amongst those who have been labeled and branded Negro, colored, black, Ethiopian, Indian, etc. This usurpation and birthright theft was done in a spirit of wickedness, evil intent, and greed. There were false claims to that which is the illustrious estate of these aboriginal and indigenous people who were branded and who are rightfully Moors with a myriad of family names, sometimes referred to as tribes over the course of history cycles. Yeah, boy, this is real life. The Moorish Heritage and History School also organizes the work of C.M. Bay, who taught Moorish science, cosmology, the ancient template left by our ancestors to teach us the energies and characteristics of man's relationship with nature. His work is filled in the Library of Congress, with filed in the Library of Congress. The Moors Heritage and History School is aware that anyone identified by brands and labels does not have rights. They have privileges. These privileges are controlled by the very ones who usurped their birthrights and created the jurisdiction of Negro, Black, Colored, etc. These brands make them chattel property. Being chattel property, they will not receive any honor, reparations, respect, or dignity from the human family. They also do not honor their mothers and fathers by name and principles. This being the foundation concept of the lost so-called black people in North America, who as long as they are in the black, will perish from lack of knowledge. These are our brothers and sisters in this manner. In greater sense, we all are our brother's keeper. New wine and old skin. Noble Drew Ali came to bring birthright and natality principles to the consciousness of the people for their earthly salvation. He planted a tree with strong roots whose branches have grown. Today, these branches are likened to the younger generation, the children, the fruit of the tree. In fact, Noble Drew Ali said, "This is for the young and the yet unborn. The elders can come if they want to." This is what is meant by putting new wine in old skin. Wine is the blood, the new blood. The old skin is the physical bodies who are enslaved earthly unimportance. Although they know their body and earthly matters will perish, they wish to push these unimportant earthly matters which lack spiritual completion onto and into the new wine. The new wine generations is conscious of this, and yet know earth is their indigenous mother for their journey and the journey of their progeny. They vow in their psyche and their spirit not to abuse or prostitute Mother Earth. The psyche of the new wine is to honor their mothers and fathers so their days on this earth will be lengthened. They are aware that their body models are the first temple, Solomon's soul of man's temple, built in the darkness, in a silence with no tools by the grand architect mother in her womb. They know they are the new wine destined to fill the cups that shall runneth over, if they seek first the kingdom of heaven, the haven of the mind, then all else shall come unto them. Inconstancy. We must be able to see the difference between those who will to do and those who will not to do. In this way, we recognize inconsistency. Inconstancy comes when one is not on a steady path of their own intentions. Man operates from his intent. The best thing to do to ask someone or yourself is, what are your intentions? With that, one could recognize inconstancy in self and in others. You must wake up each morning with a focus and a plan based around your intentions. If your intentions are floundering and inconstant, you are possibly a plotter and a schemer, or someone else is plotting or scheming for you, as you have no knowledge of your own thoughts and intent. This is probably why Noble Drew Ali wrote Caveat Emptor. Interesting. Recourse and remedy. Those who are not willing to assist in the uplifting of fallen humanity, which is for the good of themselves and their progeny, cannot interfere with those who are willing and working to that end. There is a recourse and remedy I will visit upon them for their actions, cause and effect. Retribution, justice. Retribution, justice comes much quicker now than ever before in these recent times. Those who interfere are indicating who they are in spirit. Possibly they are the spirit incarnate of their own tyrannical energies they fought against each other in the past, which is an action of fallen humanity. It became a modern lethal potion, with the memorialized and demoralizing intentions of Willie Lynch. The fall of humanity created the basis of this spiritual war we are in. It is a task and a journey to fight that which you cannot see with the human eye. The third eye or spiritual eye must be open in order to see all-seeing eye. Now that consciousness is rising, so shall the consciousness of the tyrannical souls. If they were disagreeable, they are disagreeable now. This is probably why Noble Drew Ali said, those who were against me then are against me now, and those who are with me now were with me then. Because we now live in an enlightened electronic age of information, age of Aquarius, the water barrier who pours water of knowledge onto the world Pisces, likened to the walls of the womb and that swell with water and burst, then the birth of the new child, Psyche, is born. He who sits in the east is Aries sitting on the horizon, indicating the moment a newborn rises and enters the earth plane ascendant. The statement that there will be one who comes from the east to save humanity needs to be rethought as a metaphor that it truly is. The importance of erecting schools and changing the literature. In order to change the people, you must change the literature. Noble Drew Ali incited the importance of changing the literature. This would likely be done amongst those who enter the adept chamber of the temple to receive degrees. However, changing the literature and receiving degrees is not limited to one who is in a chamber or not in a chamber. Adepts are born. To be adept means one is astute or expert at whatever it is they do or talk about. Typically, whenever one receives degrees, they have to produce a written dissertation indicating their knowledge and viewpoints. It is safe to say those who are adepts in the chamber are certainly held to the standards of providing literature. With this action, they would in fact participate in changing the literature. Just as Drew said, Their viewpoints and knowledge will be made available for review and study by anyone who is willing to accept or at least review information for their understanding. If literature has been written from the Moorish science temples, it may have been distributed only to those who are in the adept chamber or part of membership. This being said, because not much has been made to the public except for that which was written by Noble Drew Ali over 90 years ago and publicized by him in a Moorish guide newspaper. Clearly, his intent was for information to be made available to the public. The secretiveness of not exposing his information is a great part of why many do not know of Drew Ali or his works, coupled with the infiltration by the government and their subversive acts. Drew and the Moors Temple of Science was a civic organization with a Rotarian complexion. Read Message to America. He made his position very clear in his articles. Today, that information is often kept secret or limited in its distribution, even amongst those who join the temples. Thus, the words of Noble Drew Ali are brought to life when he said, "In order to change the people, you must change your literature." He also said, "The most powerful weapon amongst the Moors is the newspaper." Here at the Moors Heritage and History School, we are aware that everyone may not write an article or a book, however, they may be able to present or share information. We open our doors to instructors who wish to do that with sound mind and good intent for the uplifting of fallen humanity. Sacred and intent. Often we must take what is sacred and turn it into a secret, thereby succumbing it to subordination. That which is sacred has been made secret. Now that which has been made secret must be returned to being sacred, and proper protocols in order and disseminated amongst the people. It is not expected that information about nationality and birthrights principles will be taught in the public schools, institutions, and associations. The conquest intent is to suppress such information. Yet there are written documents from the international community that were supposed to be disseminated and read in public institutions, schools, associations, etc., which speak to national principles, such as the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, and the Rights of the Child, Principle 3. These documents are civic instructions. Although they were supposed to, as stated in the preamble, they have not been made public. They have not been made available in the public arenas. In fact, the educational system has been purposely dumbed down. It is appropriately coined as the public fool system. Review the 1895 8th grade public school final test from Salina, Kansas, wherein it clearly exposes how far the public educational system has fallen. This is probably why Drew said all temples must erect a school, aside from Sunday school instructions. And the Holy Day instructions is not necessary to ask anyone for permission to teach your own children and erect schools. Parents have a right to teach their children and to decide what is best for them. It is also indicated in the Declaration of Human Rights and the Rights of the Child. We have been waiting and complaining for someone else to teach our children about their heritage and history. This indicates that we will fail to recognize that those who don't treat you right are not going to teach you right. This is because most of us have a victim frame of mind and possess victim frame references. The lack of teaching our own children the truth and heritage and history results in great failures in exhortations, encouragements, and positive participation of our children in society. Our condition was purposely, intentionally imposed upon us. The same system that kept it from us are the ones we keep complaining to, protesting, and insisting that they fix and educate us better. We are the hypocrisy. This makes the point of importance of investing in our own progeny. Our children, the ancestors returned, are aware of our failure to respect, relook, review, to honor, dignify, and maintain our own bloodline, new heaven and new earth. This heaven state of mind and this earth physical being must be destroyed. Then a new heaven and a new earth shall come. If there is anyone who wants to help people come out of the darkness into marvelous light, it would be to invest in institutions of learning. The elders usually trip over what to teach the children. They typically do not know enough about their own heritage and history to teach because they were dumbed down education as well. That's what they were given. The children know that when they hear the words of truth, it speaks to their soul and feels good in their heart. Mission of MHHS, Moorish Heritage and History School. The people who saw the necessity to honor their mothers and fathers by name and principles. The people who are willing to proclaim the same for their posterity so that they may gain back their lost estate and return to the mindsets of their ancient forefathers and foremothers. Who are the mothers and fathers of civilization and civilization principles. The people who are aware that they must learn from the cycle and never be content in physicality only as they are magnetic, chemical, spiritual, electrical, and divine, and are aware that the universe needs them to return to their higher self. The people who are also aware that they are part of a recycling of life's energies, which is done in the order of retribution, justice, recontribute, redistribute, return. The people who recognize that they must at the highest they can reach to give the most of the best of themselves and recognize the lowest of themselves so that they can correct and complete themselves in a cycle of their evolution. The people who absolutely recognize at the very base of their present existence that they must exercise governing principles, govern the mental, and return to the constitutional fold of government and to the family of nations where national principles are the guide and held within them are the protection of rights derived from birth, vitality. Thus the people recognize the spirit of written divine law and proclaim their natural person status so that they may exercise the unalienable rights of birth and that cannot be sold nor transferred into a crime of man in the flesh. What? Yo, did I hear that? Thus the people recognize the spirit of written divine law and proclaim their natural person status so they may exercise the unalienable rights of birth that cannot be sold nor transferred into a crime of man in the flesh. Thereby the people aspire to live under the five principles love and truth, wherein they will find peace and the inherent chaser to peace, freedom, then justice will be done. September 2006, 60Y, 1426 MCY. Wow, National Black Theater, 125th and 5th in Harlem, New York, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. It's your boy, Mr. Vikings Moskova, Micah L. Bay. Feels good to say. Thank you. Allah, let's do it. Aha, here we go. Thank you, God. Most High. So I got more to share. It's your boy, rocking out. West Side! Say nah.